Hey guys, welcome to Math Today. I hope you guys all had a fantastic weekend. I was able to this weekend, I was able to go to the senior parade on Friday. That was something awesome that happened. All the seniors were able to have a float and go down Main Street. It was really cool. I went camping with my boys in the backyard in a tent. And I hung out with some friends on Sunday and we went kayaking. So it was a good weekend and I hope you guys all had a great weekend as well. So what I have for us today for math is telling time. But what you guys are actually going to be doing today is you're going to kind of watch me. I'm going to explain the clock. I'm going to tell you about the different hands and the numbers on the clock and how it all works. And kind of read a couple different problems with the clock. But I've decided you guys have worked very hard. And I know you guys are kind of getting to that point where you're burnt out with school. I completely understand. So what I'm going to try to do this week is make everything as hands-on as possible. So what I'm going to have you guys do is there's a template in our Module 8 packet. So a new math packet, Module 8, and you're going to flip all the way to lesson 13. And there is a clock template. It'll be lesson 13 template. And I'm going to actually have you guys make a clock today. And I'm just going to have you play around telling time, like making up different times and reading the times with your parents. And then like this week, you guys are going to kind of make like a schedule, like where you're going to draw a clock and make your daily schedule, showing me the different times like you get up and you eat breakfast and things like that. I'm going to keep reading the War of 1812 for us. And then we're actually going to do some virtual field day activities this week as well. So I hope you guys are ready for a fun week. Okay, so Module 8. So it's the new module packet. A new module packet, Module 8. We are on Lesson 13, and I can tell time. Okay, so some of you may know how to tell time already. Some of you, it's maybe the first time you're really looking at the clock. Well, you guys have all looked at the clock, but really working on what does the clock mean. So now the first thing I want to talk to you about is the clock. There are two different arrows, and those are called the hands of the clock. The one that is shorter is the one that points to the hour. The one that is longer points to the minute. So our minute hand and our hour hand. Now, if we look over here at our clock, our biggest number is 12, and that is at the very top. And then we just go around counting by one all the way back up until we get to the top. When you're at the top, when your hour hand is on or pointing towards the 12, that means it's like 12 o'clock. The hour is in the 12th hour. But if your minute hand is pointing to 12, that means it's like the 0, like the O clock. So it's like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. So there are some different things I want to talk to you about with the clock. So these numbers, the 12 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. These bigger numbers here are the hours. So it tells you what hour you're in. And then each hour, like above the 1, we start counting by 5. So at the top, remember how I told you like the 0, 0, that stands for like o'clock. So now we start counting by 5s all the way around. So we have 5 at the 1, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and then instead of doing 60, we go back up to the top for the 0, 0. That stands for o'clock. Now, one way that I remembered when I was a kid was the hour hand. Remember how I just told you the hour hand is shorter? The hour hand, with it being shorter, means it's pointing to that first number. Your first number right there. So the hour hand right here is pointing towards the 2. So our hour time, we are in 2, and then we do dot, dot like that. And now we have to figure out our minutes. Our minutes now, that hand, remember how I said that hand is longer than the hour hand? So what it's doing, it's actually pointing to these little dashes back here, and it's telling you what minute you're talking about. So that minute hand is longer, which means it's reaching for that back number. So if we're counting by fives, my minute hand is on that 9, and we just counted by fives all the way around. So when we count by fives, and if our minute hand is on the 9 here, it means it's 45. So our time is 2:45. And don't worry, guys, we will have lots of practice with this, and you guys are actually going to make a clock today as well that will have the hours and the minutes on it as well. Now, we can split our clock in half, and actually let me show you that over here. We can split our clock. Whoops, I hit end share. Sorry, guys, hang on. We can split our clock in half. So if I start at the very top and I draw a line straight down, that means it is half of my clock. So down here at the bottom would be my number 6. And that is half. Actually, let me go ahead and do this real quick. It means it is half past. Half past. We can also split our clock into quarters. So and when I say quarters, that means I mean 4 sections. I can split my clock. So now look, we have 1 section, 2 sections, 3 sections, 4 sections. Now when we're looking at these first 2 sections, we're looking at the word past. And then when we're at these next 2 sections, we're looking at the word to. Okay, so when we have 4 sections of something, that is called quarters. So over here, we have quarter past, whatever the hour is. And then over here, we will also have quarter again. Let me move this out. But this time, instead of being quarter past, it's quarter to. So these are the sections that we kind of talk about with our clock. We talk about when it's the half point, means we can fold our clock in half and have 2 sections that are the same, or we can fold our clock in half and then in half again and make 4 sections. And those are called quarters. When you have 4 sections, it's called quarters. So this is quarter past and quarter to. All right, so let's go ahead and fill out our clock. Let me go ahead and make our clock a little bit smaller so we can see it all at one time. Okay. So my clock looks a little different than what your clock is going to look like. Your clock is going to have dotted lines that goes right to those numbers. But if you look right at your clock, there are little lines right there. And we are going to write the hour hands there. So what we're going to do is at the top, I'm going to write the number 12. Remember, that's our biggest number. And then we're going to start writing by ones. So I'm going to write 1, 2, let me move this word here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And remember when I said when we are looking at our clock with the hands, the hour hand is the shorthand and it points to those bigger numbers on the first number that you see. So the 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, those are all for the hour. Now on your clock, you see you can cut your clock out, but there is a little bit of space, guys. So don't cut right on this big fat black line. Cut on the outside of this dotted line here. So cut on the outside of that dotted line, because inside, in between the big fat black line and the dotted line, we are going to write our minutes on that outside ring right there. So at the clock at the top, it's going to be 0, 0, because that's like our starting point. That's our O clock. Now let's go ahead and count by fives. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, hang on a second, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55 up here. Now, am I going to write 60 up here? No, because I have my 0, 0, my starting point, my 0. Okay, now on your paper, if you guys want to, when you're doing your clock, if you haven't done your clock yet, you can do it in different colors like I did for your hours and then your minutes, and then you can color your hour and your minute hand those same colors. So like if you are doing like the red and the green like I am, like my red is for my hours, I would color my hour hand red, and my green was for the minutes, so I would color my green hand or my minute hand green to match my minutes. But that's up to you guys. Sometimes it's easier to see it in color, but that's up to you guys. So we're gonna kind of practice telling time. Right here, we're gonna practice telling time. Now, all these little dashes in between the big hour numbers, those are each one of those dashes counts for 1 minute. So if you guys wanted to, you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but remember that we just start counting by fives. Every time we have our big number, we're just going to count by fives. All right. So I will go through for this first one up here and write our minutes up above again so we can just see them. So just watch with me again. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and 55. Okay, so remember our shorthand, I'll kind of color that in. Our shorthand is our hour. Our longhand is our minutes. So I'll go through real quick and I will color in our minute and our hour hand for us. So this way we can see the difference just to help us while we learn the clock. While we learn the clock. Okay, so our first time, our hour hand is pointing at the 6. So I have a 6 right here, and remember dot, dot. And then look at, where's my minute hand, my green? It's all the way up top, and it's our longer number. So we read the second number. What do I have up top here? 0, 0. So I say this time as 6 o'clock. We don't say 6:00. It is 6 o'clock. Now, one thing I want to show you guys, is when we are looking at the hour. Now your guys' clock already has these dotted lines on it. When we're looking at the hour, if our hour hand, you can see my little red line here, see how it's a little bit past the 6, but guess what? It is still in this section right here, which means it's still in the 6th hour. It hasn't clicked over to the 7th hour yet. So this is only with hours. We're still in that 6th hour. So right now we are still in that 6th hour. And our minute hand, you can still see the green right here is pointing at the 3. So if we go back to our clock where we have the numbers written out, if it's pointing at my 3, what's the minutes? 15. So we say this time as 6:15, or we can say it this way, listen. 6:15. Because remember, we had the 4 sections of the clock. The 3 and the 9 are my quarter points. And if it's the first 2 sections, it's quarter past that hour. It's quarter past that hour. So right now, it's 6:15 or quarter past 6. All right, let's look at our next one. Again, look at here. It is past for my hour hand. It's past the 3, but not quite to the 4. So I'm still right here in that 3 o'clock section for my hours. So I'm still in the 3rd hour, but let's look at my minute hand. It's down here pointing at the 6. And what is the second number for the 6? 30. Now, what's another way we can say that? Let's go back to our clock. Half, right? And it's half past. So we can say right here that this time is half past 3. Because you always say the hour, so it's half past 3. Right here, it's a quarter past 6 because the hour was 6. But right here, it's half past 3. Okay, let's look at our clock again. My hour hand, my red hand, it's past my 9, but is it to my 10 yet? No, so it means it's still right here in this area. So it's still in the 9th hour. Let's look at my minutes. It's pointing down to 6. So what does that mean? What's the time? 9:30. Or we can also say it's what? Half past 9. Remember, we always look at that hour. Okay, guys, all I'm going to have you guys do today is your clock. So if you have not done your clock yet, go to this template, lesson 13 template. Remember, cut outside your dotted line. Cut outside your dotted line. I suggest doing it in different colors and coloring in your hands to match. But that's completely up to you guys. And what I want you guys to do today is fill it in. So remember, this little line right here, so you write 12, 1, 2, 3, and so on. And then in between, you write 0, 0. And then you start counting by 5s. 5, 10, 15. Don't worry about I guess if you want to, on the lines right here, you could write half right here, quarter, quarter, if you want to. That might be a good thing to do. So you would write half on this line, quarter, quarter, okay? And if you guys want to, you can write the word past here and then 2 over here, all right? But all you gotta do today is cut out your clock, fill out your clock, cut it out. I would fill it out first, then cut it out. It's a good idea. Fill out your clock, then cut it out. And I did not give you guys any brass fasteners. I just thought about that. So you can put your pencil, once you have your hour hands and your minute hands cut out too, put your pencil eraser right there and you can make new times. I want you guys today just practice making times and then reading that time. And remember, it's hard to see, but there's little dashes. Oh, there's not in this one. Remember, only put your line right now on the dotted lines, okay? Don't worry about the in-between. Just worry about putting them on those different dotted lines and telling the time, okay? I hope you guys have fun with this today. Let me know if you have any problems, okay? All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Have a fantastic day. Bye.